I'll give you just one illustration. I will soon be finishing. I was visiting a country outside Nigeria, and I got to the airport. And I looked around, and there was one of my children who would normally be number one to receive me. He wasn't there. Where is my son? Sorry, sir. He's in the hospital. He's dying. So I said, okay, before you take me to the hotel, can we pass by the hospital? I got there. The issue was that there's something, I think they call it PSA in human beings. It's supposed to be, I think they say it's supposed to be between 0 and 5. By the time that thing is getting to 20-something, they suspect that you have cancer. By the time it's getting to about 100, they begin to say, sorry. When he got to the hospital and they tested him, his PSA was over 4,000. So the doctors looked at him. You mean you walked in here? He said, yes. Okay. In that hospital, they had a special ward. Anyone they know is hopeless, they know is going to die, they put them in that ward. If you go into that ward, you are not going to come out leg first. They're going to carry you out. That's where my son was. And I went in there. And he told me the story. I said, well, thank God, I'm here. And by the grace of God, Jesus promised me wherever I go, he will go with me. And to cut a long story short, I prayed for him. There were other people in the world. But you know, in some countries abroad, you don't pray for people unless the fellow asks you to pray for him. Otherwise, they can sue you for spiritual harassment. Lord have mercy. Thank God for Nigeria. That was a Saturday. By the following Wednesday, my son was discharged. Completely whole. Now, that wasn't just the miracle. Everyone in the room that day was discharged on that same Wednesday. I was lecturing at the University of Lagos. I sat down to write a learned paper. I've spelled out the questions, the problem. I spelled out how I was going to solve the problem. When all of a sudden I heard from God, loud and clear, son, yes, Lord, write to Chief so-so-so. Tell him I love him. That in spite of all the evil that he had already done, I'm willing to forgive him. I'm willing to save his soul. Tell him that if he will surrender his life to me, I will give him a brand new beginning. Quickly, I took note of what he said. Before I said, Lord, I have heard that name, but I don't know his address. Oh, he said, that's no problem. Write Chief so-so-so. Chief so-so-so's house. So-so-so town. He said he will get the letter. And I'm talking of those days where if you write a letter with the correct address, you have to pray before it will arrive in 3 months. 3 days later, because I wrote in the letter, if you want to know more, send for me. But if you think this is a letter from a prophet who is looking for your money, throw it into the basket. 3 days later, his driver came. Chief so-so-so got your letter. 3 days. And he said, don't come. He will come himself. I said, God must love this man. He came. I explained to him, just like I've done to you, there's only one way to heaven. That way is Jesus Christ. No other name. Surrender your life to him. He said, but I'm a friend of Jesus. I said, we're not talking about being a friend of Jesus. You can be my friend. We can be living in the same house. You could attend my birthday parties. Okay, that's Christmas Day. You can join me when I'm celebrating anything, dedicating my house. But the day I say to you, you want to go out, and I say you can't go out, you will tell me, you are not my husband. We are friends. Jesus is asking you to surrender your life to him. He's asking you to say, I do, to his proposal. He is asking you to be his bride. He says he's coming back only for his bride, not for his friends. Surrender your life to him. He will give you a brand new beginning. His blood will wash away all your sins. He will give you a brand new start. He said, I will think about it. Okay, sir. For 2 years, every fortnight, I kept on pursuing him because the Spirit of God won't let me rest. And when he sees me coming, Pastor, you are coming. At a stage, he will take me to his bedroom. Let's go and talk in my bedroom. I will explain. I will answer questions. At the end of it, he will say, I will think about it. Then one day he had a stroke. It was well in the morning, but all of a sudden he had a massive stroke. The kind of stroke that will take away the voice. But before he lapsed into unconsciousness, he was able to say to the people around, send for Pastor Adeboye, send for Pastor Adeboye. So I got a phone call. Your friend is dying. And I rushed to the place. And I cried to God, Father, give him just one more chance. Let him recover. So I can give him just one more invitation to surrender his life to you. Brethren, in less than 1 hour, there was no trace that he was sick at all. He was completely whole. So I said to him, Chief, God has given you an opportunity that he doesn't give to many. Will you surrender your life to Jesus now? He said, I will think about it. From that moment onward, I never paid him a visit. In fact, it wasn't too long after that he died.